Hello everyone, welcome back to EzeeHouse.com YouTube channel, the place to be for all your investment needs. In this video, we discuss what one needs to do to get rich. So please watch the video till the end to know which habits one needs to adopt or change to get rich. Before we begin, please subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified when we upload a new video. If you find this video useful, give us a like and leave a comment if you have any questions. To be rich, the most important thing is saving money. Saving money is an important aspect of getting wealthy. This is the crucial difference between the rich and poor. Those who save become rich and those who don't remain poor. So let's try to understand this in detail. When you get your salary or income or receive any money, what do you do with it first? You spend it on your household expenses. You shop for essentials like groceries, or maybe even buy a new car. Is left over becomes your savings. At this stage, remember when you were young, what did your parents and grandparents teach you about money? They have always told us to save money. Always spend less and save money. And the next step is to invest the money you have saved for your future. So the first thing you need to do when you receive your salary or income is to keep a certain sum aside. So the first step we need to follow is to save a certain amount every month. Generally, the thumb rule we follow, or at least we should follow, is to save at least 30% of your salary. And if you cannot manage 30%, then you need to save 25% of your salary every single month. And then from the remaining amount, whatever is left over, use that to meet your household expenses, followed by leisure activities and any shopping. But it's vital for you to cultivate the habit of saving 25 to 30%. And if you can manage 50%, nothing like it, of your salary each month. Now, just saving money is not enough. You also need to invest your savings. You need to invest in cash generating assets. You have to invest in places that for your future you can have cash generating assets, whether it is FD or buying equity or buying gold or even buying property. Now, cash generating assets generate income in two ways. That is, they either earn interest or there is capital appreciation. Like interest income can be through an FD where you earn interest regularly, or if you have a real estate property, then there is a capital appreciation. That is, the price of your property is increasing regularly every 2 year or 3 year or 5 year. Plus you can receive a periodic payment through rent. So along with capital appreciation, your real estate property is also generating cash flow. You are now earning an alternate source of income every month through the rent. If you have invested in equities, then you receive dividend on and off. If you have invested in dividend generating stocks, or you will receive capital appreciation. Basically, you have to decrease your expenses and increase your savings. And you have to invest in your savings in income and capital appreciating assets. A lot of time what happens is people think they are earning a lot of money. So let me buy a big car. But instead of spending on a car, if you invest your savings in stocks or invest your savings in property, let's say in commercial property, you can get both capital appreciation plus receive a rent. And that is a great thing to have for your future. Let's take an example. It was reported in the media that a man looked after his grandfather who was very sick for 10 years. Now his grandfather was extremely appreciative and gave him as a reward HDFC stocks. Now the grandfather had invested in these stocks many years ago. He had apparently bought HDFC stocks around 20 years ago, and their value had increased significantly. And even though the grandfather had invested in a very small amount, but in very high number of stocks, which after decades basically were reported to be in crores, around 2 or 3 crores. I don't remember the exact figure right now. Now this shows you that even a small amount invested for 20 to 30 years in capital appreciating assets, can give you great returns for your future. Which is why basically it is very important for you to save and then invest your savings into cash generating assets. Basically investing in income and capital appreciating assets. So reduce your expenses, save money, and create great assets. Now let me tell you about a rule that is generally followed. Now, for example, let's say your salary is rupees 100. Now from this rupees 100, you spend 50% on your essential expenses. And at least 20% and ideally 25% you have to put it in your savings. And 25% will be your taxes. Now you will ask me what is included in my essential expenses. So you have to include all your home loan payments or any rent payments or any property taxes. Also, electricity bills and landline bills for your house, plus all your food expenses. So your monthly grocery bills will all be included in your essential expenses. Now, I won't say that you should not include your restaurant bills and expenses for eating out. Now, if you really believe that you cannot live without eating out, then include all those expenses as well. Now, besides the food expenses, your essential expenses also include all your health care. So your monthly medical bills, or if you have a health insurance for yourself or your family members, those are included in essential expenses as well. The fourth thing which is part of essentials is transportation. So your car EMIs, your petrol expenses, for your parking tickets, the maintenance cost, your insurance for your car, all this is a part of essential expenses. Now besides this, you have to also include children's expenses. So your school fees, the cost of books, your minimum monthly expenses for outings, etc. Now next, you need to consider debt payments for things that you have taken on loan, such as your credit card payments, or if you have taken a personal loan, or if you have taken a life insurance. So all these obligations and debt payments you have to keep within the 50% essentials. The remaining money, you need to further divide it into two parts. So the first is 20% for long-term savings for your future needs, like for your children or for your own retirement planning. And you need to regularly invest in this for generating good profits. Now you can invest in equities, or you can also invest in real estate. You can also invest in FDs, depending on what your financial goals are and what your risk appetite is. And if you need help, you can consult a financial advisor to help you plan to invest 20% for long term. After 20% for long term savings, the remaining next 5% you can make a short term emergency fund. Now ideally this used to be made for 6 months, but after the coronavirus crisis, you can also increase this fund to maybe 7.5% to 10%. Basically, instead of 6 months, you can plan for expenses for 1 year. So for example, if you lose your job, you should have enough money to sustain yourself for 1 year, basically, to meet all your household expenses. You can also include emergency costs. For example, someone in your family is hospitalized, or if there is a medical emergency, or if there is a car accident, any emergencies, even like let's say dentist visits, which are normally not really covered in your insurance. So basically a short-term fund to plan for emergencies. Even for things like children's school visits or school outings, or unexpected dinner with your friends, maybe you can perhaps even combine these kind of events. So these are basically rough estimates, right? So roughly you have to keep in mind that you need to make interest and returns basically work for you. And you have to also make sure you do not spend on unnecessary expenses such as luxury items. You do not want to spend more than what is absolutely necessary, because if you do that and you spend money on things that you really do not need, what will happen eventually is you will need to pay a very high interest on these unnecessary things. And you might even have to sell your assets, assets which are extremely important in your life. So it's very important that you keep your expenses within a limit which you can meet with your salary. Now, I know a lot of millennials today have a mantra that you live only once. So what you can do is basically you can make a separate budget for sin products. You can indulge as long as it doesn't impact you adversely. See, everything is great as long as it's in moderation. Now, saving is the most important thing you can do to get rich. The more you save, the freer your life will be. Now, only 2% people in the world, live life on their own terms because they have achieved financial freedom. So I hope you like our video on how to achieve financial independence and be wealthy. Now, if you liked our video, please like and subscribe and hit the bell icon so you are notified when we upload a new video. When you subscribe, it gives us a lot of motivation to make new content and post new videos. So also, if you want us to cover any particular topic on investments or mutual funds, please drop us a comment in the comment section and we'll definitely try to cover it in our upcoming videos. So thank you for listening to us and have a great weekend.